Welcome to the ASA Podcast. This is the first episode of what we hope will be a long and successful journey to bring you information about subcontractors, the construction industry, and ASA, as well as introduce you to people who are impacting the industry. The ASA Podcast is brought to you by the American Subcontractors Association and the Foundation of the American Subcontractors Association. My name is Mike Klein, and I'm your host. And my guest today is Richard Bright, CEO of ASA, who's going to be talking with us about workforce development and touching a little bit on an exciting new program that we're working on with the National Center for Construction Education and Research. Welcome, Richard. Most people listening know who you are, but why don't you introduce yourself and give us a little background on ASA?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Richard Bright. I'm CEO of the American Subcontractors Association, as well as for our foundation, as Mike said, FASA. ASA is a trade association. It's been around since 1966, and we represent specialty contractors and suppliers in the construction industry. We have about 33 chapters throughout the country, and our foundation and our FASA cares initiatives, as we call them, including workforce development, are run through the foundation. And I'm excited to talk to everybody about what we've got going today. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you could join us. This is, as I mentioned, for our kickoff episode. So we're excited to see what this can turn into, and what a better way to kick it off than with you as a guest.
Well, thank you.
Let's dive into the questions then. So first things first, can you tell us a little bit about the current state of the subcontracting industry and the challenges that it faces in terms of workforce development?
Sure. Construction industry as a whole is doing great. A lot of our members have got strong backlogs. So from a volume standpoint and a work standpoint, we continue to see good things around the country. But whereas workforce development is concerned, unfortunately, it's a significant challenge, and it's not a new challenge. It's been around for as long as I can remember, but it seems worse than ever in the sense of us keeping talent, but more importantly, driving new talent into the industry and into our member companies. So, we felt the need now to say, look, we got to do something. So the initiatives we're going to talk about today, we'll explain a little bit how we're trying to do that and maybe move the needle a bit. But, the work is there. The question is, do we have enough workers to fulfill the pipeline? And that's what we're trying to do.
So just to kind of a follow-up, is this just a nationwide problem, or is this worldwide?
Oh, it's worldwide. And in fairness, it's not just the construction industry, Mike. There's other industries, but obviously we represent construction. But I would argue that construction has been hurt for a long period of time, in particular getting young people involved and into a career path in construction. I think it's been a significant challenge. And again, some of that's been because of, the normal pathway from school to college rather than getting straight into the trades. So we're certainly trying to do something about that.
So what motivated FASA to address the industry's workforce challenges?
Again, it's because we continually meet and we continually talk about the challenges that we have. And we felt that it was time not just to sit back and complain here. Let's roll our sleeves up and see if we can make a difference, even moving the needle slightly and benefiting not only our members but the industry. If we can come up with programs that work, then in the long term we can make a difference.
In the intro, I mentioned an alliance between ASA and NCCER to promote career opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that's going to help the subcontracting industry?
Yeah, NCCER has been around for years, and they're also a good sponsor of ASA and FASA. They have a significant amount of curriculum, but they also have very, very strong relationships in high schools, vocational schools, trade schools, et cetera, around the country. So we decided to work closely with them in respect to getting access to that network for our members and to be able to roll out these initiatives to be able to support the schools that are actively engaged in getting young people into the industry trained and obviously ultimately hopefully working for our members.
I know the program is just kicking off. Are there any specific programs that have been implemented yet as a result of this alliance to support workforce development, or is it too early to predict?
No. We've already had a significant amount of our chapter network engaged with workforce development, some at the vocational school level, not so much at the high school level, which I think is a specific part of the initiative we'd like to encourage. And I think later on we're going to talk about some of our success stories, so I'm happy to expand on that too. But yeah, we've been encouraged by the amount of work that our chapters have already started. What we're trying to do is step it up a gear and do even more and provide even more support for those schools that are definitely leading the charge here.
Okay. So how will ASA and FASA be able to ensure that the training and education provided to the workforce align with current needs
Oh,
or
wow.
future needs, frankly?
Yeah, well, quite frankly, who better to go to than the people that are building America right now, right? Our members are heavily involved. They are always engaged in new technology, new methods, new processes. So they certainly are on the cutting edge of what needs to be done and what needs to be taught, right? So we're very much reliant on the network of our membership, the volunteer and the expertise that they already have. We're just trying to be an extension of that, excuse me, and provide more direction.
Excellent. Okay. You mentioned success stories earlier. Can you talk about some success stories, especially with maybe what some of the ASA chapters have been doing and ASA itself?
Sure. I'll give you a couple of examples. One, our chapter in North Texas has been a partner since, I think, 1996 with the Construction Education Foundation. And they've been very, very active. And I'll talk a little bit about what that activity looks like. I know, again, our Arizona chapter is working closely with the Arizona Department of Education and along with Arizona's Education Economic Commission to basically bring back what they call shop classes to the schools. So these are just two of the examples of things that we've been dealing with. And in particular, these initiatives, they're simple in structure in the sense that we have access to contractors throughout the country with different specialties, right? From HVAC to plumbing to electrical, etc. We also have suppliers. So the goal here is to make sure that our members are visiting with the schools, identifying what their needs are. I know some of our chapters have contributed money, quite frankly, to support a lot of the initiatives they have there. I know a significant amount of equipment and product has been provided to the schools. I know you mentioned NCCER earlier, but we're helping support curriculum within those schools too. Our members speak, our members train, our members are obviously an avenue for internships and an avenue when people graduate to be able to come into the industry. So all of those things are going on. And all of those things will continue to go on, but at a much higher level of volume and 100% around the country. So some great success stories. We just want to keep building on it.
So a little bit of a curveball here as a follow-up. Are we seeing any impact? Are we seeing more kids, more young people coming into the industry? Have we moved the needle? Or in general, I know there are other organizations who are focused on workforce development. Are we having an impact in moving the needle, getting more people to come into construction?
I hate curveballs, Mike, but I will answer that. The reality is moving the needle. It's hard to tell right now in respect of actually how many new young folks are coming into the industry because of these initiatives. And let's face it, we're not the only organization that's doing it. This is an industry-wide initiative because we all feel the pain. But I think what has moved is that there's a culture shift going on within parents and within schools and with state government as well as the federal government, really looking at the true cost of college education and the true cost of debt to these kids coming through college. And that, quite frankly, college isn't for everybody. Many years ago, many years ago, we used to have a lot of more trade schools. We used to have more programs available to kids. So what we've seen right now is a greater willingness through the school system and through state and federal government to start promoting more the reality that a career in construction is a great career, a profitable career, a long-term career, and quite frankly, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than going to college and coming out with debt. So I've really seen that culture shift more than necessarily the results coming out. We know results are there, and we know even more are coming. But that's definitely the sense that we've seen over the last at least 12 months or maybe longer.
Yeah, I mean, I can say even over being a parent of kids, I've had that conversation with them. Why don't you consider becoming an electrician or becoming a plumber or whatever? Because the opportunities are there. You and I are not necessarily young folks, and we need people to replace us eventually, and that's what's happening in construction right now. So I know those conversations are going on. So
Yep.
my argument would be that you have moved the needle. I think that these kind of programs really do push people to rethink what does the future look like.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the reality is we've got data. We know this is a great career. We know our members and their employees are making good money. They've got benefits, etc. So we know that, and we know the true cost of education and the debt that is building. So we've got a great story to tell, and I think we're doing a better job of telling it. And I think we're going to reap the rewards, here as we continue to build.
Next question for you. How does the FASA and the initiative address the issue of diversity in the workforce development efforts?
Oh, superb. Yeah, very important. I will tell you that the construction industry needs people from all aspects of society, from everywhere, all around the country, and in particular, young people. We would need them to come into this industry. And you know that we call a lot of our initiatives through FASA Cares, right? So the whole purpose of FASA is to create a caring community where everybody is welcome, right? Everybody is encouraged and everybody is treated equal. And we provide an environment for safety. So another one of our initiatives, for example, is a big issue in the sense of suicide prevention in general, let alone in the construction industry, because that is a significant problem too. So everything we're doing within FASA and our FASA Cares initiatives, including FASA Cares and the Workforce Development Initiative, is all about caring and that culture, providing that culture that is, again, welcoming and safe and open and honest. And we want all people, shapes, sizes, etc., to come into this industry and participate and thrive. So it's a big part of what we do.
I have read some figures that say between 350 to 500,000 people are needed to fill positions in construction just to do the work that we have right now. So I think your ideas around diversity, welcoming everybody, that's how we're going to solve this problem.
Yeah, we've been open for business for all of our members have been screaming for years and years. We need talent. We need talent, and we can train the skills. We just need the people and the attitude, and they're going to come from everywhere. And we know that, and we want that, and we encourage that, and we provide an environment for all people to thrive. So it's a big deal.
Excellent. Is there government funding available for these sorts of things? I know there are grants and so forth. Are there government programs that we can tap into?
Yeah, there's definitely programs at the federal level, DOL, and obviously at the state level too. So I know our chapters are looking at that. I know we're looking at that. Um, I'd encourage other folks to look at that too. So the bottom line is, we decided that we needed to get more engaged. We needed to get our volunteers, driving this, because they're the ones ultimately that are going to appeal to folks coming into industry, train, and ultimately employ. Right. So it's a great situation that we have with the foundation, that we've got tremendous support. As you said, grants, will certainly take grants to support these initiatives. And then we've got a great network of our executive directors, our chapters, our local leaders, our national leaders. So we're in a good place to actually deliver on this initiative.
What would you say to young people who are considering a career in construction, and how are they going to benefit from what FASA is trying to do?
Excellent. First of all, check us out, right? So I think in the past, some folks have said, no, we're going straight down to the college path. So have a think about construction, have a look at what we do day in and day out. Go downtown, look at some of the buildings that are either, are going up right now, the cranes. Go and look at some incredible architecture that's been out there in your area, and see what our members and what the construction industry is doing. Okay. It's pretty cool. It may not be one specialty, you may not want to be a painting contractor, but you may want to be an electrician. Some are going to appeal, but take a look, check it out, ask some questions, because more than ever, there are places for you to go to get trained and, quite frankly, to get internships and ultimately employed. It's a great career. Just take that first step to ask some questions and come and talk to us.
There was a great ad, and this is going back a number of years. It was probably nationwide, but I know we saw it here in Pittsburgh. It was by the iron workers, and the ad said, "We don't go to the office, we build it." And I
Yeah.
always felt like that was just a tremendous uh, differentiator for people who are looking at careers. If you are an outdoors type of person, or you like to work with your hands, or you like to build things, um, it sure as heck beats sitting behind a computer on a nice day. Even though it's hard, dirty work sometimes. If you've got that sort of mindset, then a career in construction is definitely
Yeah.
worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, look at the technology, the new technology that's come into everywhere. Even the use of drones, for example, in construction. So there's some cool stuff going on, and again, it's a great industry, and it's a great way to feed your family. And more than that, it's a great way to feed your family and have a great retirement, quite frankly. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
it truly is a career, and it's been overlooked for too long.
yeah. So looking ahead, I don't know if you have an ironworkers type of ad campaign planned. That would be great. But looking ahead, what are the long-term goals here for the effort?
Yeah. So first of all, working again in alignment with NCCER, we've got access to the information of where those schools are. I don't think we initially had great information on that, and access of the schools that were truly now, ready to dedicate resources and time to this construction career. So our goal now is working through our chapter network and through our leadership, to get into those schools, to build relationships, to more importantly, find out, what are they doing to attract young people into the industry, and how can we help, right? Do you need product? Do you need speakers to come in and present? Do you need examples of young folk in the industry, and what does that look like? So to me, Mike, we've got, I mentioned earlier, just us alone outside of other organizations, we've got 33 chapters nationally. So we can, or each work can get into 10 different schools, for example. That's 330 schools around the country. We're going to touch a lot of people, and we're providing opportunities for them to leave school and come into the industry. So we will, and we talked about it before, move the needle. this will move the needle because it's grassroots, and it's just a matter of opening those doors, building those relationships, and continuing to provide value and help. Let's provide help where they need help.
So in terms of evolving, how do you see the industry evolving in the next few years as this succeeds more and more?
I think it's hard to tell. I mean, our industry is always evolving, right? New technology, new processes, new systems. I think, ultimately, when you look at myself, for example, the aging gray hair, we've got a lot of folks that are in senior management or even ownership in business that are looking to exit at some point. So we need younger talent to come through, and there's opportunities for them to start their own businesses. There's opportunities for them to take over businesses. I mean, the sky's the limit, quite frankly. So, this industry will always evolve, and I think it has been evolving at a speedy level, and in particular with the technology that we're now using. So, yeah, it will continue to evolve.
No, that's great. I don't have any more questions for you. So we can wrap this up, but I would just say, parting final thoughts. Is there anything that you want to tell people about that we didn't cover here? That would be important for them to know about ASA, about FASA, about the Workforce Development Initiative.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to reinforce the FASA Cares initiative, and to go to our website and to look at the other initiatives that we have too. But importantly, to realize how important this Workforce Development Initiative is for our industry in general, and quite frankly, for the kids. So I'm super excited. We've revved up to do this. I'm super excited and grateful to my board for agreeing to put time, resources, and money into this. And then when you add that at the chapter level, and then hopefully with grants and everything else, I think we can truly make a difference. And I tell you, I'm super proud of our members. That FASA Cares and the culture of care and safety and an openness and a willingness to really support the employees, the family, and everything else. We call it the FASA and ASA family. You know that at the board level. It truly is a family, and we just want to basically bring the family to a lot more people.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm excited by the fact that we're doing it, and frankly, it excites me that people take it seriously and care about it.
Yeah.
We call it FASA Cares, but really the members do care, and a lot of them are really engaged in it. So I think the sky's the limit here.
I agree. Timing is great. Timing is perfect. Yeah. We've got the ability to do this. So, and I appreciate the interview, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity, and we'll continue to push out this podcast and additional information. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being on.
Cheers.